John and Mary went on a long-awaited vacation, accompanied by Mary's mother, who dreamed of the sea but did not want to go alone. Although the young couple was not thrilled about it, her mother-in-law assured them that she would not interfere with their vacation plans. When they arrived in Miami, they decided to rent a modest cabin as they were not going to spend much time indoors. Their main goal was to enjoy the sea, bask in the sun, and take part in a few excursions. There were only 2 bedrooms in the house, which were located next to each other. Mary's mother occupied one bedroom, and Mary and John occupied the adjoining bedroom. If the mother-in-law wanted to thoroughly unpack, John and Mary wasted no time and rushed to the beach. Mary was eager to get a deeper tan, and John was eager to indulge in a swim. "Let me put some sunscreen on you," he suggested, tossing his towel on the sunbeds. "Just a little, or the tan won't last." Mary playfully replied, "Well, I wouldn't want to spend the rest of my vacation smearing sour cream on you." Leaving his wife on the beach, John headed to the sea for a refreshing swim. After swimming, he returned to his belongings and, to his horror, found his mother-in-law there. Her name was Amanda. She had asked him to call her by her first name only because she felt like a young girl, and she hated to be called by any other name. Not to say she was such a nuisance to her son-in-law. It was just that he felt, not unreasonably, that she could be unnecessarily intrusive. "Mary, do you need any more anointing?" "Why, no, of course not. That's enough for today." "Silly, you and me." Amanda confirmed her son-in-law's thoughts. "In 2 days, she'll only be hiding in the shade. Or only get out at night, like a vampire." Laugh, laugh, laugh. "But in 2 weeks, I'll have a great tan." Don't listen to her. "Why don't you put some cream on me?" "Yeah, sure." John agreed. The mother-in-law began to undress right next to him. She had put on her swimsuit at home in the bedroom, so now she only had to pull off her shorts and t-shirt. Seeing her in one bathing suit, the man was stunned. Not only that, she was very good-looking, and at her age would give a head start to many young people, but she was also very similar in figure and physique to her daughter. Or rather, her daughter was more like her. John began to apply the oily cream to her back, gently rubbing it into her skin and gently manipulating his hands around the ties of her swimsuit top. If it had been his wife, he would have simply removed the top and spread the white substance evenly over her skin. However, he hesitated to touch such a delicate part of his young mother-in-law's outfit. Finally, she turned to him and asked, "Could you check to see if I applied the cream evenly to my breasts?" As he examined the area between her breasts and neck, he noticed a few remaining white spots. "No, there are still a few areas where the cream was not fully applied." "So smear it, please." It was very unusual. John felt awkward, though he enjoyed the process. He cast a concerned glance at his wife, fearing her judgment, but she remained unconcerned, lying face down. Nothing much happened until evening, but after dinner, all 3 decided to celebrate their arrival at a nearby bar. Mary had overheated in the sun and now had a headache, so after one cocktail, she hurried to her room to get some rest. So looking forward to this vacation. And now, the first night she ignores me. I complained to my mother-in-law when I was alone with her. "You know, it's our fault too. We should have insisted she stay out of the sun that long." "Yeah, it's just a shame. It's not how I pictured my first night at the sea. But if you don't like my company so much, I can leave too." "No, not at all." "I didn't mean to offend you, and I didn't mean it at all. I just wanted to surprise Mary a little, and now she's gone to bed." What a romantic son-in-law I have. My daughter's lucky to have you. You're not so lucky to have her. Don't belittle her. Yes, her character is not flawless, but she has inherited your beauty. Wow, what a graceful compliment. Thank you, John. I appreciated your beautiful muscular body on the beach too, son-in-law. You're a great guy. Thanks, John replied hesitantly and quickly changed the subject. What are your plans for the next few days? I'm going to sunbathe, take a walk on the beach. Maybe meet someone. That's the right thing to do. If you flaunt your swimsuit today, fans will flood you with compliments. You're giving me too much credit, John, although I'm sure it's very nice to hear you say that. By the way, your touch was very nice on the beach, too. How do you manage to stay in such great shape? I couldn't have distinguished your figure from Mary's in the dark. Don't make me laugh. See that you don't mix up the rooms? And seriously, I just like to groom myself and enjoy the increased attention from men. With these words, the woman winked slyly at her son-in-law. Their conversation continued in the same vein for some time, and close to midnight they went to their rooms. The next day, the three of them reconvened on the beach. Amanda lay on her stomach on a nearby sunbed, repeating after her daughter, and again asked her son-in-law to put sunscreen on her. The man was feeling the effects of his morning hangover and had already drank a bottle of beer to ease his condition. However, he didn't just feel better, but the opposite so his movements while smearing the cream were more confident than yesterday and more like a massage. He properly walked with his palms on his mother-in-law's back, on her lower back, and even was not afraid to smear her slender legs. To his surprise, her mother-in-law didn't mind and seemed to enjoy it. At least when John finished, Amanda asked him to smear her sides as well. It sounded like a request to continue, but the son-in-law did not understand the woman's hints. Toward evening, Mary began to complain that her skin was noticeably red from the sun and itchy, so she dragged her husband into the house to sit it out. Soon her skin was hurting altogether. Record. You got burned on the second day already. Well done, daughter. Still managed to get sunburned quickly, said my mother-in-law, who had returned from the beach. Mom, don't laugh. It's bad enough as it is, she replied. Whatever you say. John, you owe it to yourself to go to the store for kefir or sour cream. Your chicken is getting crispy. Well, Mom, don't make fun of me. As soon as John left the room, Amanda caught up with him and asked him to buy a bottle of wine for the evening. John complied with his mother-in-law's request and even bought refills for himself. Later that evening, the trio drank the bottle at home, not wanting to leave Mary alone. But eventually she cried out, God, everything hurts. Do whatever you want. Just let me sleep. John and his mother-in-law decided to go outside to enjoy each other's company. They went for a walk, having grown closer over the 2 days, and feeling comfortable despite their age difference and sibling relationship. They joked and discussed various topics, including their preferences in the opposite sex. Eventually, Amanda went home to rest, and John continued to walk around town before heading home. He had completely forgotten about his wife's condition and craved the intimacy he had been missing for days. Entering the house, he was confused in the hallway and couldn't remember where his room was. Turning left, he still made the wrong choice, as it was hard to distinguish the furniture in the darkness. Deciding not to turn on the light, he began to undress. Mary, are you asleep? No, his mother-in-law replied, playfully pretending to be his daughter. She was watching her son-in-law closely, assuming he was very fond of her. Do you mind? No, not at all. After a short pause, Amanda replied. It no longer seemed like a joke. Her son-in-law was getting closer to her, and she herself was already completely fine with it. The next morning, Amanda looked into her daughter and son-in-law's room. I don't suppose you're going out anywhere today. I'm not leaving until the sun goes down, Mary replied. What about you, John? Sure, I'd love to go swimming. The son-in-law and mother-in-law left the room and headed for the sea. How quickly did you realize your mistake? She asked with a smile. Not right away. About 5 minutes later, he admitted. You two are so alike. Why didn't you stop me? I didn't want to, and I don't regret my decision. With those words, the mother-in-law hugged her son-in-law, and he reciprocated. The whole time they were in Miami, the mother-in-law had fun with her son-in-law without fear of her daughter finding out their secret.